What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic. And today's beautiful project is going to be our competition entry, and this is the Bolt Chapman. Let's get through this intro because there's quite a bit to discuss for this wild beast. Now, today I will not be taking off any of these bonus parts to put them all back on because there is just a couple of them. I believe there's like 50 or 60 on this one. It's a little bit mad with all the plates going around that front end there. Don't worry, the hood does close and doesn't show anything. The fenders will cover up all these little bits on the side. It looks a pretty epic. I'm a bit worried that I might have to take them all out to paint them if I want it a different color, so we will check on that a little bit later on. We've also got a couple of bonus parts just in here. We've got two consoles and then some switches on there just for good measure, hiding up the drive shaft that runs through the middle. Down the back we've got two big old tubs and then just an extra little piece where a little bit clipped through into the rear end, and we didn't like that. I was going to build a whole stereo system for in there and everything like that, but I'll be honest, I've run out of time. I spent so much time doing this. It looks fantastic in my opinion. We have left some cutouts. I will show you what the cutouts are for. Down on this side you've got an ECU and the fuse box, so you can easily access them through the cutouts. And on the other side down there is where the battery lives, so it kind of makes sense that you would have cutouts there. Easy access to the battery, easy access to the fuse box and the ECU. Plus we've also got easy access to all our little filler tubes as we go around just up there. The only one we don't have is the radiator, but it's the I'll show you, it's a TKAftermarket radiator, looking pretty awesome in there. Well, it will do when it's cleaned up a little bit later on. It's going to look awesome, and I cannot wait for it. But I thought that was going to fill up with coolant, but it doesn't, so we need to go to the coolant reservoir. At least as far as I can tell, we'll find out. I might have double coolant, but that's no issue at all. It is looking fantastic in there. We did obviously swap that engine to the V12 HE. I believe that's from the Jaguar XJS, one of them, I'm not sure, but it looks absolutely fantastic. We are going to be putting lots of colour on this, also with some LS3 air hoses on the top. What do you need? Do you have to do everything? Hose clamps, that's incredible that you have to do all the hose clamps separately. The tube metal, the intake, and the rubber hose, because this is a part added in, like properly added in. It's not just a bonus part slapped on top. It is all fully functional. That's pretty cool. I like that. But there we go. Don't worry, the hood does close and everything like that. So let's get stuck into this beautiful Bolt Chapman today. A little bit of a slightly longer intro. Don't forget to head over to Red Dot Games Discord server, link in the description below, to come and join us for the competition. We have lots of competitions, lots of cars. There's another board up there full of previous entries as well. No prizes for this Bolt Chapman one. It's just for a bit of bragging rights. But it does end today, if you're watching this video the day it comes out at 10 p.m, with the cars open for another 24 hours, so you can get your votes in and vote for your favourites. So do make sure you head over and join in, because we will be starting a new one as soon as this one's finished. So let's get into this beast. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. But before we do all of that, let's talk some facts and figures. This is the Bolt Chapman VM Slammed. I completely missed all of this part. We got ours from the auction house. It's in pretty bad condition apart from parts, but it has got quite a lot of them, so I guess that makes sense. Did we get a good deal on this one? No, absolutely not. I bought it for $7,495 and I could sell it for $6,212, losing out on $1,283 before we even begin. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to do with this one. I don't really want to race it because I don't think it's going to be racer worthy. I don't think it's drag strip racetracks. Definitely not on the gravel track. We may just take it to the drag strip just for a bit of fun. But in all honesty, even though it's got a V12, it's a very low power V12. It's only got 232 factory horsepower. And I'll be honest, I think this is a bit too low to be drag racing. So what I'm thinking is at the end of today's episode, I'm going to ask you guys to leave a comment rating this car from 1 to 10. 1 being lowest, 10 being highest. And then we're going to make a third, fourth board, I guess, that is just based solely on looks and what you guys think of the different stuff that I build. Won't do them very often. Obviously, most of the time it'd be drag racing or track racing. But for certain things that I don't think are racetrack worthy, such as this Bolt Chapman, it's very low. It's definitely like a curb crawler, I believe, is what we would call it. So maybe just give it a vote out of 1 to 10, and then we'll make a separate board for that, for all the different votes that you guys have done. That's my plan. It might not work, but we shall see. So I probably won't be racing this one at all at the end of today. But there we go. Let's go back to that engine. It is the V12 HE. It's got 232 factory horsepower. We will obviously be adding all of the performance parts. Just trying to see what we can increase this one to today, even though we're not going to race it. But I do want to hear your opinions of what you think of the final build. So let's get into it. Let's get this beast into the car wash. Let's get it cleaned up. In the car wash, let's get this little beast cleaned and see what's going on underneath this dust and grime. Shouldn't have any liveries on it, and it looks like it's some sort of beigey colour, which not really my cup of tea, but there we go. Still looking good nonetheless. Let's get the interior done. Let's get this beast back on the lifter. Let's get that engine ripped out and start tearing everything else down. Let's check for the oil pan. It is there. Very bad condition, but it's there nonetheless. Let's get you all drained out and see what's going on inside here. That was pretty clean. Not very much of it, but it was pretty clean and nonetheless. Let's jump back into here then. So let's start off by getting out this drive shaft. Out you come. I like this rear end. I've not seen this one before, so we'll have to play around with that one a bit later. All of the rusty bolts for here. Out you come. Nice and easy. Into that gearbox. Out with that starter with a rusty bolt there. Nice and easy. And then off with the gearbox. And just the one more rusty bolt just for good measure. While we're here, I do believe we should check out this exhaust, though, because it is pretty wild today. So we've got the V12, obviously, coming down from the front exhaust sections into the catalytic converters, which then emerge into one middle muffler. A little bit of clipping. It looks all right, in my opinion. Then into the rear mufflers, of which are for the Fair Lady Z, which then block into another middle muffler with another rear muffler on there. So you've got that quad exhaust sticking out the back. It looks absolutely mental, and I think it looks wild, and I really do love that. What do you guys think of the multiple crossover exhausts? Do let me know in the comments down below. But let's get these front exhaust sections off so we can rip that V12 out of there. Down you go, and let's go and grab the engine crane and get that V12 pulled out. Then we can start stripping the rest of the engine bay. Out you come. Nice and easy. That is what we like. Now, as I said, I won't be taking off all of these bonus parts because we will be here until probably Christmas, I imagine. But we do need to get all of these air intakes off. How do I do this? Hose clamp. There we go. Second hose clamp and then third hose clamp. Yeah. Then the intake hose. Then the metal tube. Then the rubber tube. There we go. Nice and simple. I'm not going to take the other one off right now. We'll come back to it later. But while we're here, what have we got? So we've got the LS3 radiator, which looks awesome. Fuse box, Type A ECU. Coolant reservoir, which I will admit I did add after I'd finished this one off. That's why it's full and looking nice. Then we've got the wishy-washy reservoir, the brake servo, the power steering reservoir, and somewhere else is a fuel tank and a fuel pump. Down the back is the fuel tank and the fuel pump. So we definitely need to check on that a little bit later. But let's get all the liquids drained from here. Let's go around to this spot. Right-click. Additional tools, a drain tool. Click on hold. I just wanted to check. Click on hold on the container and it will not drain the liquid out because it doesn't know what it's doing. Okay. That might be broken because I've added it in later. We'll figure that one out as we go. So there we go. Out you come, and out with the power steering reservoir liquids there. And then let's just see what happens if we pull out this coolant reservoir. I just rip you out. You come out. That's fine. I'll take that. Perhaps it wasn't full. But there we go. We're going to get the rest of this all stripped out. It really doesn't look like anything's missing, which is fantastic. And then when we come back, it's time to sort out the bodywork on this beautiful Bolt Chapman before going into the paint shop to see what we're going to do with the livery for this absolutely wild lowrider today. That's everything on the Chapman repaired, replaced, or upgraded, at least mechanically wise. Now let's get all this bodywork off. As I said, we're not going to be stripping off all the bonus parts because we will be here forever. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get all of the normal bodywork stuff off. There isn't much on this one. So let's just keep going around out with that door. And that might be everything apart from the interior. So let's just get that out. Out you come. And then if we go into this, that says 1%, and then go to that, that doesn't show up all the bonus parts. That's what I wanted to see. So we have got everything else off. We're just going to have to see how these bonus parts paint a little bit later on. So the frame is at 4%, and I bought the car for a little under 7,500. I don't think this is going to sell for too much. So I'm going to go for 650. 1,050. So I wasn't too far off with the Bolt Chapman. We just go quickly into the body shop. You can see Bolt Chapman. There's all your parts for your normal stuff, but you do have some alternative parts for the Bolt Chapman. There are additional wing mirrors, front and rear bumper, headlights and tail lights on there to play around with. So let's get this. That is incredibly cream colored, isn't it? Definitely not what we're going for on this beast today. But there we go. Let's get all of this stuff all back on. Get what we need to buy. Repair what we can repair. Get this beautiful car all back together. And then get it into the paint shop. Let's get all this bodywork all back together then. Ready to get this car into the paint shop for a lovely new coat of paint. Now, most of this is all just the standard stuff. Obviously, the only thing you can swap are the headlights. And we did go for the B headlights because they go body-coloured and look pretty good. As it stands at the moment, I'm going for the B front bumper. I'm not sure whether I'm going to chrome this one or have it as a body colour. We shall see a bit later on. Make my decision once we've got some stuff on. Let's get the rest of this all in. Doors and windows are all just as they come. Mirrors, we've stuck with the normal ones. We may swap them to the alternative chrome ones a little bit later on, depending on how we feel with the rest of the chrome work in this build, I guess. So let's just get it all around and get it in. A rear window, trunk, in you go. Then the rear bumper is the B bumper and the tail lights are the B tail lights. They will go body coloured under that little bit a little bit later on. Fingers crossed anyway. Rear license plates, we went for low and slow on some beautiful VM plates today. Looking very nice. Round we go and in we go to the front, liking that. And I think that should be everything apart from the interior. So let's get the interior in and then we will double check. We kept with the Chapman rear bench because we like it. Front seats are just the leather Bs, or seat 3 leather B. There we go. And the steering wheel is the Chapman steering wheel. Again, we will see how all of that turns out a little bit later on, especially with the color-wise. But let's have a look. Have we got everything? 100%, 100%, 100% we have. Let's get this beast into the paint shop and see what we're going to do with it. Well, here she is then, all painted in this beautiful livery from the Steam Workshop by a lovely person called Convey. I believe that's how you're supposed to pronounce it anyway. Looking absolutely fantastic. Loving all the detail in this. It is literally everywhere. So much time and effort has gone into this one. It looks pretty epic. I love all this, I guess, white noise, but obviously it's blue, and then a bit of gold down here, a little bit of purple in there as well. The red trim around the edge. Then you've got all these Aztec pieces. It honestly looks fantastic with a few flat top skulls going across the front there. But it actually looks so good. I really do love this one. And I love this image on the back. It just looks, it's so good. But anyway, open it up. We also have this in the trunk. Let's just put some light on it and step to the side. Lowrider, looking absolutely fantastic. We've also got our bonus parts in blue on the trunk. If you use the tubs, they don't paint. You have to go in with a quality of life mod, take them out and paint them separately. Otherwise, they stay in a weird looking white, which I didn't want, so we went with the blue on them. The rear bumpers, we can turn that torch off now. We've done them in a body blue, still with a bit of chrome running through them to keep up with the chrome running down the side. All the lights obviously in that body coloured with more chrome in there. Fantastic. We go to the engine bay. We'll do the front bumper first. Front bumper's also in body colour blue with the chrome running around it, keeping up with all the chrome trim pieces. Headlights are in that body coloured. Under here, let's just jump down first because I want to see this. Let's go full torch. That looks absolutely incredible. Beautiful, beautiful work, Convey. Absolutely loving it. And then the engine bay, which is obviously what I've spent so much time working on. I think that looks really smart in that deep metallic blue on there. Very, very nice. We're going to have a bit of chrome, maybe a bit of this goldy colour and red in there as well. We've already used a splash of the gold on and red. So let's check out the interior. Lots of red on the front and rear seats there. Looking very nice. Very deep red, kind of like this. Very dark and deep. If we take a seat, we've also got a little bit of red on the steering wheel and nothing too much. And then the center console, you've got the lovely blue center console matching in with the body. And then the Hydra switches are in the gold. As if I hover it there, it's very similar to the gold that's on the wing mirrors and on the bodywork of the car. Especially if we go down there and look at that piece. Looking fantastic, but there we go. What do you think? I think it looks pretty beautiful. Don't forget, we're not racing this one in any way, shape or form today. I'm asking you guys to give it a score out of 10 and I will even them all out. And that's what score it will end up with on our new looks board. I don't know what to call it yet. We'll figure that one a little bit later on because it won't be going up today because my vote won't count because I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. But that's obviously my opinion, but I spent time building it. So there we go. Let's get everything else painted. Make that engine look absolutely as epic as we can in there. Get all of the accessory parts all on and ready to go. And get this beautiful Bolt Chapman all finished off ready to go outside in the sun. That's everything painted and ready to go back on the beautiful metallic Bolt Chapman, looking fantastic in that blue with all of the other colours going on in that beautiful livery there. But there we go. Let's crack on and get some of the suspension together. We got red shocks, gold springs and red caps on the top there. So that's looking pretty nice on there. Let's just go and get a couple of parts in because we do have a rather needs some assembly rear axle housing, so let's get you in. Obviously, to start with, you can see it's in that chrome and with a few little gold accents like on the ends and some of the bolt holes and stuff, looking quite nice. Oh yeah, I can see what I can't do. Then we got to get the pinion bearing in, you go. Then we've got the rear diff pinion gear and another pinion bearing in there, along with the rear diff on top of that. Two brackets or bearing caps, whatever you want to call them. In you go and in you go. And then we've got the differential cover on the top in that beautiful goldy colour, looking very, very nice. And if we swing around to the front, the rear diff pinion flange is just in a cheeky little red on there. We'll come and finish the rest of the suspension in a minute. You know how we do. I'm assuming you've been here before. Then let's get the front suspension cross member in, which is in a beautiful chrome colour. There is lots of chrome going in on the underside of this car. So let's crack on and let's start getting all of this in. And I'll join you back in just a moment when we'll talk all about the colours. There we go, one half of the suspension all painted and looking fantastic in chrome, gold and red just on this underside here. Obviously we got the two arms in the gold, all the rubber bushings in the red, springs in the gold, and obviously all the setup for the shocks is in the red there. Got a gold back plate and then a red drum plate on the front there with the main drive axle obviously being in that chrome. Looking beautiful down there. Let's just get up the front. Check it out. Again, mostly chrome. All the rubber bushings are in red. The sway bar, steering rack, both in red with the attachment pieces in a beautiful gold there. Red and gold on that shock, looking good. We do also have like two-tone chrome and gold on the upper and lower suspension arms there, just for an added splash of something cool. Beautiful red Brumbo brake caliper with a few more splashes of gold dotted around just to finish it all off. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Well and truly impressed with that one, but let's see if we can get further down the back. There we go. So we can get this fuel tank in a beautiful red with the fuel pump in a cheeky little gold on top, and that's basically it. So now I'm going to crack on, get the rest of the suspension all done, and we'll come back, sort out this beautiful engine bay, and it really is a beautiful engine bay, before going and building that stunning V12 engine, hopefully bringing this entire build together and making it look absolutely fantastic. There it is, all the suspension finished, mostly in chrome with a few splashes of gold and just a little bit of red on there for good measure. We've already got the fuse box in, carrying on that red theme into the engine bay. So let's crack on and get the rest of it in. Our stage 3 ECU Type A, our coolant reservoir, no longer full of liquid. We managed to fix whatever that issue was. Wishy-washy reservoir, brake servo, and the power steering reservoir just in there. Then we've got the battery tray, which we've done in the red. Obviously, the battery and not coloured. The bracket, keeping a bit of that blue going in. That's the first addition of blue, apart from on the bodywork. And then just some chrome bracket rods, leaving them as they were in their already existing chrome. Then we got the LS3 radiator, the Summit radiator, which we've done in a full red on there, looking pretty good. The shroud itself is chromed out. And then we've got two, they're carbon fibre, but they've got a tiny splash of blue on them, just for good measure. Can we even get in close enough to see the carbon on it? Just about. See a bit of that carbon weave on there. It is a little bit blue, looking very, very nice. Now, as for these little bits, we'll wait till the engine's in to get them done. Speaking of the engine, let's go and get that beautiful V12 built and ready to go. Helps if I put it on the engine stand already, doesn't it? But there we go. On you go. Looking beautiful. The block is in a red and chrome, looking absolutely fantastic. The oil pan's also in that red and chrome, giving that two-tone effect. The engine heads are, again, both in the red and chrome. You do get a little bit of difference on the A side. This bar goes chrome. on the B side, it doesn't. So that's a bit bizarre. Then we got the camshaft caps, which are chromed out just to carry on that theme. And then if we zoom in just a little bit more, we've got lots of spark plugs. There is 12 of them in total. Let's just get the 12th one in. In you go, all there. Then we've got 7 camshaft caps on either side. So 14 of them in total going on top of the 2 camshafts. Then 2 cam gears on the end. And that's pretty much that all done. So let's crack on, get these timing, or this timing chain in. In you go there. Then we got the timing cover on the front, which is in the red and chrome. Just that little piece there for good measure. In you go. Lots of long bolts on this one. So let's just get it all in and crack on and get some more of this stuff in. The water pump is in chrome and red again. We did have to adjust the red on this one a little bit to come out just a little bit brighter, so it matched in with the rest of that. You can see it on all the bolts and stuff, looking good. Water pump pulley, just a splash of black on that one today. The crankshaft pulley is fully chromed. The power steering pump also in a full chrome on there. And the alternator is in red and chrome, but I couldn't get the red to go how I wanted to, so it's just mostly sticking with that factory red colour on there with chrome everywhere else. I don't think any of the actual red showed up on this one. No. Oh, no, they're on the bolts on the timing cover. So, yeah, just the standard red that comes on that one. I couldn't get the other red on it. Not the right way I wanted it anyway. Serpentine belts, in you go, just blacked out. In you go and in you go. And then we've got a big old radiator fan just fully chromed out in the front. Looking nice. Lots of chrome. Plenty of splashes of that beautiful red as well in there. So let's get in. Ignition distributor in the chrome. And then we got the rotor. Ignition distributor in the chrome. Then we got the rotor not painted. And the cap in that deep red. And if we just go around, the clips are in a beautiful little bit of gold. First splash of gold on the engine itself. Looking fantastic. Fuel filter up here in that deep red. And the oil filter is in that red, but it's not all red. We still got some of the text on it. Well, it is all red, but not the same red. Still just got a little bit of text on there. Engine head covers. These are in the red. Looking fantastic. Again, lots and lots of bolts. So let's just get it all in. Luckily, these ones up here are quite short, so it won't take long. In you go to the other side. And it's always the last bolt, isn't it? There we go. Let's just get that all done up and ready. Then let's jump up to the intake manifolds. These are blue and chrome. Just a few splashes of blue on the outside, mostly in a chrome. Just wanted to get a little bit of that blue in the engine bay. As you can see, well, there's a lot of blue in the engine bay because you've got all the covers on there. But just a few splashes of blue on that piece. In you go for the other side. Exactly the same. Looking wonderful. Bolted up. And then let's crack on. We've got these throttles, which are in gold. The next bit of gold. They're also gold and chrome. Just a tiny splash of chrome on them and there. Then the air filter base in the deep red. Air filter in you go, not coloured. And the cover also in that deep red with gold clips. 100% gold clips on that one. Looking absolutely fantastic. In you go. And in you go. Then let's nip around to the other side. Nip around to the other side. And get this one all up to the same spot. Almost there. Just got 2 more clips to go on. Couldn't quite reach him from that camera position. But there we go. That's that all in. Let's carry on at the top. We've got the fuel rail, which is in gold and chrome. Looking quite nice with the gold bar around the top there. A little bit too yellow on these plasticky bits, but it still looks pretty good. The ignition wires are in a blue, just for a splash more of that blue in there. Looking very, very nice. And then the exhaust, let's get you in. All in a beautiful looking gold. Looking wonderful on there. Very, very pleased with them. And the rest of the exhaust is all gold, including them quad pipes sticking out the back. So let's just get all of this in. In you go. Then we can crack on and get them finished with the extra air filters on there as well. I'll talk more about them in a moment. In you go. And that, I believe, is everything for this beautiful engine. So let's get it off the stand. Let's get it dropped into our beautiful Bolt Chapman. Outside we go. In you go there. Let's get this crane put away because we won't need you anymore. That's looking pretty good. Blue, chrome, and red. And obviously, the blue reflects off the chrome tops on them intake. Adding a little bit more blue to that. Looking absolutely fantastic. But let's get in. We've still got these LS pipes to get in. So in you go. Red pipes. Then we got the metal tube in the blue. And the air filter, which is it's normal air filter. But these top and bottom bits are also in that deep red on there. Looking very good. In you go. In you go. And in you go. Then we can get all of these clips on. These are all gold and looking absolutely fantastic. Couldn't remember where they went. Next one's up here. There we go. Let's get round to the other side and get you in there. One in here and one at that top end. Looking fantastic. In you go. I'm liking that. Few extra splashes of the blue just for good measure in there. Can I go into this mode and not have it show up with outlines? There we go. Looking good. Plenty of chrome. Few splashes of that deep red in there. And a little bit of blue just for good measure. With some gold just to top it all off. There we go. Up in the air. Let's get this all finished off. Gearbox, drive shaft, and the rest of that exhaust. And there is a lot of the exhaust in this one today. So let's get it all in. Starting with the gearbox in red and a little splash of chrome. So let's just get you all bolted up. You see it's got its own like oil pan in the chrome down there. Looking nice. Over to the side. That's the wishy-washy reservoir. Over to the side. Let's get the starter in. Just in a full gold on this one today. And then all of this exhaust in the beautiful looking gold. I absolutely love this exhaust. I'm so pleased with how it turned out. I didn't think I'd be able to get it to work. I did spend way too long doing it, which is why I never came around to getting a livery for this one. So I just borrowed one off the Steam Workshop. In you go, in you go, in you go. Oh, where's the other one? There you go. And then round to the back to get these last exhaust bits on. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is that all finished. I can't wait. Oh, no. We forgot the drive shaft. Nearly made a car that wouldn't work. If I can get to the drive shaft. There we go. In you go. Let's just get you all bolted up and finished off. Looking nice in the chrome. Obviously, at one end, we got that red flange. And then at the other end, inside the engine, the other side, we've got the gearbox in the red as well. Now, is it at a bit of an angle, so it doesn't quite clip thick all the way, but it still looks good nonetheless. Let's take a crouch down and walk out looking good. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, all these extra bonus parts under here just to block some of this off. It didn't look that good because it was clipping through, but I'm loving all of that exhaust. With the extra splash of blue under there as well, it is looking fantastic. But there we go. Almost finished with a beautiful Bolt Chapman. We just got to get some liquids topped up, those windows tinted, and get some beautiful wheels done for this insanely good looking car. Then we'll get this one outside in the sun. And that's it, because all I'm going to do today is ask you guys to give it a rating out of 10. I'm going to compile them, mix them all together, and get an average score for this beautiful Bolt Chapman. And then we'll make a new board based on that one. I don't quite know where to pit the board. We're running out of space. Is there any floor level boards? There is no floor level boards extra. We've already got this one. I don't think we can change these. I'm not sure. If I can change this one, it will go there. If I can't, it might have to go up in the air somewhere. Maybe. I don't want it to go too high. Could we maybe do this one? We'll do this one as the best looking board. Score out of 10. Whatever we're going to call it, we'll figure that one out later. We'll go for this board up here, I think. Unless you have a better idea, do let me know in the comments below. But let's crack on. Get this beautiful Chapman all finished and outside in the sun. Finished with our low and slow Bolt Chapman, looking absolutely beautiful in this wonderful livery by Convey. It looks absolutely fantastic. I am genuinely loving this livery with a deep metallic blue on the body, lots of splashes of chrome and gold, and a little bit of that deep red in there as well, especially in that interior. All of the seats are in that deep red, but we've got a lot of that deep red on the engine as well. Well, you can really see it from there for some reason. Plus chrome and gold with a few splashes of that blue. Looking fantastic. What do you all think? Do let me know in the comments. You know I do love to hear from you. But let's talk about these rims. You can see how set back they are so that we can still get a bit of turning circle on this, even though it's not full lock. But there we go. It is a rim Retro 13 that we went for today with the chrome and gold two-tone on it with the white wool tyres. Looking absolutely fantastic. The fronts are a 19-inch rim, 205 width, 30 profile, and the fronts need just a little bit of ET20 just to bring them out so they don't clip with them TKAftermarket brake calipers. Looking good there. Down at the back, it is still a 19-inch rim, but they are a little wider, 255 width, with a 30 profile, and the rears don't need any ET. They tuck in quite nicely there, in my opinion. We just open up the trunk. We can look at that beautiful picture on there. Looking awesome with the Lowrider text. Absolutely fantastic. And obviously, we've seen that bit on the hood many a times, but it looks so, so good. And I love all of this boxing in we've done, looping it around the edges, even leaving the cutout bits open so you can access the fuse box, battery, and that ECU. But let's jump inside. Loving this interior. Looks so good in there. Still got the torch on. In we go. Obviously red on these front seats, blue on that front center console, with just some of them gold hydro switches, which are gold and chrome in there as well, and a little splash of red on that steering wheel. Looking pretty good in here, but let's get this V12 started and see what she sounds like. Little bit of a grumbly tick over. I should have put one of the Ford engines in there that really pops. That would have been fantastic. But there we go. We went for a V12. Let's give it some gas. Still sounding quite mean at the very, very top end there. Not that we're going to be racing this one. It's definitely not built for that. But we will still put it on the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. We're not racing this show car today, but we're still going to dyno that beast of a V12 anyway. See how much power we've added to this one with all our performance parts. Only 232 factory from this beast. Let's see what we've added it up to. A gain of 346 horsepower, 150%. Is that our biggest ever yet? I'm not sure, but I do believe it might be. 150% is pretty wild for gains in this car, bringing us up to 578 horsepower. So it's not the slouch I'm giving it credit for with the low and slow plate, but there we go. Drag rating of C292, so we would be way down in the classes if we did go over to the drag strip, which we aren't doing for this one today. To see where it's going to end up on a board is I want you guys to give it a score out of 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being the best car you've ever seen, whatever it is, and I'll work it out and see what the average is, and that's the score we will give to this beast. So there we go, but let's get on. We will have a look at the gearbox tuning. I have adjusted this just a little bit, just so I could get it to 333, just because it looked pretty good, and I can't get it to go back to 333. There we go. On you go there. So we're not worried about the gearbox tune because we're not racing it at all, but we do have a fully tuned Stage 3 ECU just to get that percentage up. Don't forget, check out the short, little link in the corner there. Link also in the description below. Or just go on to shorts on my channel and find the ECU tuning one. There is 2, but the most recent one is the better of the 2. They'll both figure it out, but the second one is definitely a lot better than the first. So let's get this beast back outside, take a final look at this one, and then decide whether we're going to sell this one or keep it and replace it with something out the front of the shop. I love that engine and engine bay. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments, and don't forget to rate it out of 10 while you're down there as well, so we can get it on a board at a later date. But let's talk some facts and figures. I bought the car for $7,495 at the very beginning of the episode and could have sold it at a loss of $1,283. That we obviously didn't do that one. We since spent a further $82,425 upgrading and modifying and tuning this beast to how you see it here right now, paying our total spend at $89,920. Would there be some money to be made if we were going to sell this beautiful Bolt, Chapman? Which we are not, by the way. I've already made that decision. We're definitely not selling this one. But let's jump in and see if we could make some money if we were to sell it. Well, there she is, all 100% finished, looking beautiful, with that engine as well, ramped up from 232 horsepower to 578, which was an official gain of 150% in total, which is wild, and I was not prepared for that one. I think that might be the biggest increase we've ever had. But we did spend almost 90,000 to get there, 89,920. Would we make money if we sold it? We would indeed, with a sale price of 142,617. Take away what we spent, leaves us with 52,697 profit from this beautiful, beautiful car. Do rate this one out of 10, please. I am begging you. Get in the comments. Just leave a number between 1 and 10. 1 being bad, 10 being good, and then I'll get the average, and we'll get it on a board that way. We'll keep it up for, we'll say, by Monday. That's when I'll put an end to it, and we'll just get it on the board, whatever that is worked out. Okay, so you've got until Monday's video, which will be 6 p.m, to leave a comment and let me know where you think this stands on a scale of 1 to 10. We are definitely not selling this bad boy, though. It looks so good. We are definitely keeping it. What shall we swap it with? Pick one, not to the Huna Pegasus. That is definitely staying. Pick one of these 4 that you can see right there. Either the Plymouth, the Bolt, the McLaren, or the Fiat. Which one should we swap it out with? Or do you think we should just add a new space? I do have one other space up here still unlocked at the moment, but I don't use it because my game slows down just a little bit because of the amount of work I put on this computer. But there we go. We're definitely not selling the Bolt. But what are we going to have for the next video in Car Mechanic Simulator, because that won't be on Friday. Friday is going to be the start of our What the Friday series, starting with City Skylines. We're going to jump into City Skylines, start building a city, and we're just going to carry on with it until we get bored, we decide to do a different game, anything like that. We're going to give it a go and see if that works. But our next Car Mechanic Simulator video is going to be on this beautiful Delray Winchester. This is the Delray Winchester Custom Lowrider, and it does also have a custom livery on there as well, which looks absolutely fantastic, and we will talk more about that on Monday. We got this one from the auction house, pretty much as per normal. Everything's really bad apart from the interior, which means to me it's probably just complete, which is always a good sign, although we're going to replace it all anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference. Did we get a good deal? No, but not by much, but we didn't pay much. $2,784 is what I paid, and I could sell it for $2,296, losing out on $488, which is a bad start, but there we go. The engine in this one currently is a V8 one carb overhead valve, 291 factory horsepower. We can swap any one of these in, so if you want something specific in there, leave it in the comments with your rating out of 10 for that build for our Bolt Chapman, 1 to 10, and then a specific engine if you want to see one in this beautiful Delray Winchester. It looks so nice, and I cannot wait to get involved with this. It's going to be so good, so make sure you join us back here on Monday for this beautiful Delray Winchester, our next Car Mechanic Simulator video. But make sure you join us back here on Friday to see what we're going to do in City Skylines. I'm excited because I love City Skylines. It's such a fun game. I enjoy city building, and I'm looking forward to City Skylines 2 when it comes out in, I don't even know when, but I do already have pre-ordered, and we will be doing a couple of videos on it, probably on a Friday with our What the Friday series. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what you thought of our beautiful Bolt Chapman in the center of the screen there, looking lovely. 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being great. In the comments, leave a cheeky little like if you enjoyed it. Share this video far and wide, and most importantly, make sure you are subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around to the end. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you all back here on Friday when we'll be playing some City Skylines. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.